You know, as a matter of fact, when she called me for consultation, let's start here. She called me for consultation, and I said to her, listen, even though you call for consultation, if you don't have a proper team because of the pandemic and what's happening with the pandemic, you may not have as much persons to move around. She said, no, man, I'll be fine. I'm doing this myself. All of these things, like 2 weeks before the wedding, she called me. She's like, Marsha, I need you. So I had to pack up and go to Clarendon. The team had to go to Clarendon, and then we had to execute that wedding. It was really, really exciting to just be around the couple.
So the dresses, how the dresses them reach now? How that happened?
Yeah, she had to go and get the dresses. She had to go and get the dresses.
We're here with Marsha Jarrett of Royal Events. Let me put it that way. She'll tell us more about titles and associations. And we're going to be just talking about all things love. This month of February, I've dedicated it to love in every season. I have some lovely couples that will be coming on another time and another day to talk to me about love in their season of life and stuff like that. Different age groups, different dynamics for these couples. I'm excited about that. But today, we're going to be talking about the big day, destination weddings, etc., decor, music, food, everything. And I'm going to just turn it over to you, Miss Marsha. Tell us all about yourself, a little bit about yourself and Royal Event, and we're going to just take it from there.
Why Shelly just threw me into the middle of the pool just like that. But I am super excited.
But at least, first of all, let us know what is Royal Events. What about? Let's start there.
Well, even before that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for thinking about Royal Events, for being a part of your February, and I'm super psyched and super excited to be here because I love anybody who knows me. I love all things love, and
that's right.
For me, it's personal. I was typing on my WhatsApp status this week. My brand is personal. What you see me put out there is the same atmosphere I'm going with a yard. You understand what I'm saying? From the home. But really and truly, my name is Marsha J. For those of you who do not know. And I'm the CEO for Royal Events, and our slogan is celebrating life one event at a time. We are an event planning company, but there is the arm of the event company that does weddings, and it's called Simply Weddings. That's it. Simply Weddings.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
So the big banner is Royal Events, and the arm of it's Simply. So that was what was throwing me off when I saw the Simple Weddings, because I was sending it to your other page. I was sending the invite, and then I got a bounce back, and I'm seeing, and okay, let me just take a chance, because this person's still sending me that request. I said, maybe, sir.
Yeah, we had to rebrand.
I didn't research. I didn't do my research. Well, I do apologize.
We had to rebrand.
I do apologize.
Because we do so much more than just weddings. So my respect for weddings is so high. I said, listen, weddings need a division by itself. It need a whole division by itself. So within Simply Weddings, we do planning, consulting, and executing weddings. So it doesn't matter if we don't plan your wedding. We have vendors, you know, if you just need somebody to give you advice about your weddings. I've been doing this for a very long time. I was sharing with Shelly in the room, guys, that I saw the very first picture of myself in my very first wedding. And I have been a bridesmaid for over nearly 30 something times. So the experience of the wedding itself, and then somebody said, hey, why don't you do it full time? You know, do it full time. But then something happened that forced me to do it full time in my life.
Right.
Job transitions, and I'm loving it. Went back to school, certified myself, and now I am here doing weddings. Yeah.
Full time. Awesome. Yeah. So you mentioned that your motto was celebrating life one moment at a
Event at
time,
a
something
time.
like that.
Yeah.
And for me, my thing for according to MzShellz, it's celebrating life's moment. Because for me,
Oh,
I'm always that
yes,
person
girl,
that
yes.
pick up the phone and call people, sing for them on their birthday or anniversary. And so I'm gonna just take that to public, to the public, let people, feel, because everybody always give me good compliments about how they special if okay, I want to share some of this love with other people.
Yes,
So yeah, it's so
I
similar
completely
in
understand.
our mottos. All right. So you already told us that something you used to do it for just for the fun of it, but
Yeah.
eventually life happened and you made it into a business. Awesome. What are some of the things that you would have your clients get ready for as they get, what are some of the things they have to do in order to get ready for their big day? What are some of the things you tell them,
Wow.
that needs to happen or stuff like that?
There's so many things that they need to do. So the first advice I'd probably give a bride is to not do a hurry come up wedding. Yeah. The best time to start planning your wedding is between a year to 6 months. And pretty much with COVID, we know that there have been restrictions and then restrictions have
Right.
been pulled back. But especially if you know that you're having over 50 people, I would say between a year to 6 months is a good time. And even if it's just a small wedding party, I truly believe that your wedding is just one of those things that you don't want to just hurry it up, and based on your budget, you also want to consider your budget. So you want to give
Right.
that enough time. Most first time brides, they're not quite sure what a wedding will cost. So normally, before we even do anything else as wedding planners, we help you to estimate a budget. So even if you come to us and you say, okay, what's the cost for a wedding? We still could not have told you that off the bat because we don't know the dynamics and the scale of the wedding. And so we'd have to sit down, figure out the scale of the wedding. What do you like?
Mm-hmm.
How many persons are going to be there? What kind of menu? And all of these things contribute to the cost of your wedding. So that's one quick tip I would have for persons who are planning weddings. Two, make sure you get premarital counseling. My brand is a faith-based brand. And if you're going to do a wedding, normally there's a pastor or some form of religious ceremony that happens for those who are religious minded. There are other types of weddings. And these
Mm-hmm.
are the things that I cover because I've started a school, Royal Events Academy, where I teach people about the deeper things about weddings. Some of these things you don't even find in a book. But you want to get some sort of advice, especially if this is your first time getting married, because the
Mm-hmm.
wisdom that people have who have been married before, it's there's nothing like it, and you always need that type of advice. However, please pay attention to those who are extremely negative while giving you advice. You do not want to take advice from persons who are extremely skeptical about weddings and all of these things. You want to stay around people who have positive energy, positive vibes, but they're also very transparent and they're very honest.
Right, that's true. So you, as you said, you're a faith-based group, and that's so awesome, that you're able to put your stamp on what you're doing based on your faith. And I applaud that. So you mentioned that this is the royal event, the Simply
Wedding
Weddings is an
division.
to
Yeah.
what other services you provide? I know
Well,
it's
we
on
we
the, I
are
guess.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Go, well, look at it like the bigger picture and then bring it back down to the weddings, I guess. So just in case
Um,
somebody watching wants you to do something else other than, weddings, just so that they know that, okay, so it's not just weddings she does X, Y, Z. So something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it just depends. Virtual events is something that we do as well, and we do live events. Your planning, your execution. So whether it's a baby shower, whether it's a book launch, once it's an event, events have a basic outline, so we are able to execute.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the focus is really weddings, but we can pretty much do any event. So whether it's church, it can be a church event, whether it's a convention or a conference, or it's simply helping you to plan a special service at church or even a Sunday morning. we're right there with you, and we understand what it takes to execute that type of event.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So back to weddings though. You mentioned destination weddings in our private conversation. What other scopes in planning a wedding have you also done?
Weddings have many moving parts, right? So there is the transportation aspect of it, there is the decorating aspect of it, there is the food aspect of it, there is the making sure that the bridal party is on top of their game part of it, making sure that there is the option for premarital counseling. So it just depends. It just depends on the type of weddings. So destination wedding just mean it's a wedding outside of the person's country of origin. So let's say we have someone who is in the US that wants to do a wedding. Definitely we start with a virtual call. We start with what is called a discovery call. And then once you have that discovery call, we find out if we are a great match, because sometimes you will have the initial conversations, and you will find that you are not a match with a bride. Not every, well, for royal events at least, we do not do like every single wedding, but if we feel that you are more compatible, you know, we have other colleagues within our circle that we can refer you to ensure that you have the type of day that you are expecting, the type of day that you are looking for.
So therefore, from the beginning, they know exactly what kind of service you're going to give, your total investment in them.
Exactly.
And that's good. If you don't feel they're a good match, then it's always good to just say, hey, maybe not this time or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So can you tell us one of your most memorable events? You know, maybe calling people's name because you don't want people to be on spot.
Memorable in terms of good or bad, Shelly?
I was thinking more on a positive way, I guess.
My most exciting weddings to date have been the ones during the pandemic, right? Because
really?
Yeah, because that was an interesting time for everybody, all creatives, all hands-on persons. Now you have to be at home, and there are persons who were saying, listen, COVID or no COVID, I want to get married. And so navigating through that was pretty interesting. My first bride during the pandemic, she actually booked us before the pandemic started. And so by the time the pandemic started, she started with a total of 140 something people. Then I don't know if you remember the time when the government was saying you can only have 5 people. So we were in the of planning, sending out invitations, and then we had to undo the invitations. There was a lot of frustration because there were shipments that were to be happening, and then the ports were closed, and all of these things. So at the end of the day, I realized that the bride throughout the experience was just so happy that she chose us because we made the experience easy. The wedding that happened during the pandemic as well, the couple were having some difficulties navigating through the pandemic in terms of family and guest lists. Guest lists are critical, especially when you have a family that's very family oriented. There's a matrix that we use to help couples decide, you know, who stays on the guest list, who is unable to. Then we try to set up a virtual experience along with the live experience. And then persons who wanted to be live so they don't want to be transferred over to the virtual guest list, and who vex and who this and who that. But at the end of the day, we worked it out in such a way that everybody was pleased. So even though those were not on site, they were watching via the internet, but they got their little tokens and, you know, things like that. So that was a beautiful experience.
Right. And that, at least it sweetened the pot, because as you said, you brought the tokens. So therefore, you know, they weren't able to feel left out.
Right. And then the other cool thing about this wedding is that those who came to the church, they could not show up at the reception. So can you imagine?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had to do like
Oh, so you split it 3 different ways
we
then.
had to split the guest list
Oh.
3 different ways, you know. But that was something interesting. And at the end of the day, everybody was satisfied. Those who were at the ceremony, they got their tokens, they got their little packets with their meals. I wish I could like do a whole slide to show you what happened, because we have the pictures and everything. But those were some interesting weddings. I had one bride, all her bridesmaids dresses got lost in the mail. Yeah, and
Yes. That's so like instant balling.
yes, she booked a dress and the dress couldn't fit. She had to go overseas during the pandemic. And so we had to be right there with her, comforting her, saying, "Hey, you know, you got this."
She never get stuck, right? Because at that one point, the borders were closed on different sides. Oh, by the way, I don't remember if I told person that you're located in Jamaica, but she's not limited to Jamaica. So I needed to make sure. I had another guest last year who was based in Jamaica but was not limited to Jamaica, and that's so awesome that I have some cool friends who are worldwide in their reach. I just remember that because when you said she had to fly away, I said, "Oh shoot, I didn't tell people that you."
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and this particular bride, she didn't book us for a full planning, because you can book full planning, you can just book consultation, or you can book us for the day of. So you want to plan it yourself, and that's fine. But you just need somebody to make sure that the day goes well. She actually booked us for the day of. You know, as a matter of fact, when she called me for consultation, let's start here. She called me for consultation, and I said to her, "Listen, even though you call for consultation, if you don't have a proper team because of the pandemic and what's happening with the pandemic, you may not have as much persons to move around." She said, "No, man, I'll be fine. I'm doing this myself." All of these things, like 2 weeks before the wedding, she called me. She's like, "Marsha, I need you." So I had to pack up and go to Clarendon. The team had to go to Clarendon, and then we had to execute that wedding. It was really, really exciting to just be around the couple.
So how the dresses them reach now? How that happen?
Yeah, she had to go and get the dresses. She had to go and get the dresses.
Oh wow! So she had to rebuy them, because you say she had to rebuy them because she said they were lost.
Right, the shipping company sent us their information to say that the shipment reached this destination, and they had someone to sign off on the dresses to say that they were left at a particular area, but the dresses really didn't reach, and then there was nothing we could do, and she was having a complete meltdown. So we gathered the friends, gathered the reinforcements, and just said, "Okay, you know, we're gonna support you as best as we could." So we started making some calls overseas to make sure that, you know, she could get the dresses, get the same pattern, the color mixture, all of that. And further interesting to this story is that the day before the wedding, the government had moved curfew. The government moved curfew, so it meant that the wedding would need to close off at least 2 hours earlier. So, you know, when you're booking cooks and chef and all of these things, and to be calling everybody to say, "Listen, we short 2 hours." So it was really interesting. We had persons coming in from outer parish. The police was really strict in the area of Clarendon at the time. I had one guest that called back to say, "Listen, police stopped me and asked me where I'm coming from." You know? So it was interesting. But at the end of the day, the wedding was executed. I ended up doing the couple's baby shower.
Oh wow, nice.
I tell you, we walk you through the entire journey. So we did still, because of the COVID thing and the pregnancy, you know, the sensitivity where C19 is concerned.
Right.
So we did 2 things. We did a drive-by.
The drive-by.
Yes, and we did a virtual. So those were
virtual. Okay.
They got a part of that experience. And so it was good. It was, even though the rain fell, it was still an awesome experience.
So let me reset the room. I saw persons popping in while you were talking, but I didn't want to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're talking with Marsha J. She's the owner of Royal Events. That's the big umbrella, but the we're talking specifically about the wedding arms called Simply Weddings. And
Yeah.
so we're just talking about navigating weddings during the pandemic. And maybe you came and she's talking about these dresses that this bride lost. And so I was asking her a question about it because I was saying that sound like instant bawling. If that was
I
me, I would be
know.
bawling. I would be bawling. So I'm happy you're able to rescue. March to the rescue. Ta 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 ta.
Oh my gosh. You know, these
And
experiences
that
give
you
you a chance
saved
to
the day
adrenaline
right up to the
rush.
baby shower.
Yeah, it does.
So, all right. So, tell us, even though we're not done, but I think it's a good time to just tell us how we can connect with you. Persons who will watch the replay, who will be watching it on YouTube, because I'm also gonna feed it onto YouTube by the weekend. How can we connect with you and make all our dreams come true?
Oh wow. You can connect with me by shooting me a quick email, royalevents by mjm@gmail.com. And I'm also right here on Instagram as Simply Weddings by RE, and RE means Royal Events. So those are the two ways that
I
you
like that.
connect. Yes, two ways that you can connect with us.
I can see the calligraphy right now in my mind.
Oh, yes.
Right, the Simply Events by Ari. That's awesome. I like that. I like that. Okay, so you have a nice little toolkit, I'm sure. What's definitely a couple of must-have in your toolkit as you get ready for whether it's a wedding or a baby shower or whatever virtual event, even a virtual event, I'm sure you had to have something in your toolkit to lean on.
Yes.
Tell us at
Shelly,
least two
let
things
me
that
tell
you
you.
have must have.
There are two types. First of all, there are two types of toolkits. There's one that the planner will have, or the coordinator, and there's one that the bride, since we're talking about it's February love month and we're talking about weddings, that every bride should have. So for the planner, definitely you want to make sure that you have service on your phone, because you are going to need it, whether it's data or so on, and some way of communicating with your team. That's going to be very critical on the day. I would also suggest that you have a first aid kit on hand. That's going to be very, very helpful just in case any eventualities. You will also need a sewing kit. Yes, as simple as it sounds. You could be like, listen, I can't tell when last I have seen a sewing kit, but it's going to be extremely important. You're also going to
So
need,
have you had to use that sewing kit?
yeah, you're gonna need breath
Wow.
mints. Breath mints, most times the maid of honor and the bridesmaids may not remember that they need to keep the breath of the bride and the groom fresh. So just in case you have some on hand, or for persons who have a medical history of like diabetes and so on, the wedding itself can be very taxing, especially if the weather is not permitting you to have one of those more relaxed days. So make sure that you have like mints and stuff like that on hand. Planners always need to be wearing flat shoes. I do not know any female planners who can actually go through an entire day, up the stairs, down the stairs, on the lawn, to the car, to the reception, from the ceremony, and not have flat shoes. Definitely something that you want to have. A fanny pack is something that you need to have on hand too, because there's no way you're going to be able to be walking with a whole handbag over your shoulder all day, trying to get stuff done. So those are some of the more critical things for the planner. For the bride, I would more direct this to the maid of honor or the best man to make sure that there is a snack prepared between the ceremony and the reception for the bride and groom, simply because, again, their energy is going to be drained, meeting people, talking with people, taking pictures.
Right. The adrenaline and everything, yeah.
By putting themselves out there. And it's more tips than kit for me when it comes on to the bride. Like, I would never tell a bride to do her wedding rehearsal the day before the wedding, because you want to make sure that your bride is well rested. So that's gonna be very
You're saying
important.
back in the day when we used to do that, it's not a good practice.
Yeah, it's not a good practice. And you find most times that persons are still at the hairdresser or they're getting their nails done because they want it done closest to the time so it can be fresh. Plus, beauty rest is so important because when a bride is tired, even when they do makeup, if they're a bride that does makeup, it shows under the makeup that you're tired, right? Visine. Next thing to have in the toolkit is Visine. Visine gets the red out. We have had couples who have had to stay up late because of things that were out of their control. And they're up sometimes at 3 a.m. and the wedding is going to begin at 10 a.m. So they have not gotten much sleep. And so the eyes become red and things like that. So once you have Visine, which is an over-the-counter eye drop. That's something to have on hand. Also, pain medication is good. Pain medication is always good. Something as simple as a Panadol. For different countries in the US, they don't know what Panadol is. I think they have a drug like Advil or so on that they might use.
Right.
Always good to have stuff like that. And also make sure that the bride has another pair of shoe if they're wearing a heels, because they will need to change the shoe to be more comfortable in order to take pics. So those are just some of the things that they need to have for a wedding.
So it needs like a seasoned event planner indeed. I'm so proud of you. Awesome. So I think you mentioned it when we were talking earlier, but hi everybody, good afternoon. There's some more persons coming on. Meet Marsha J of Royal Event and Simply Weddings by Ari. We're just talking about loving every season. We're looking at the whole beginning stage of someone's love as they decide to tie the knot, and they're using Marsha's entity to make their dreams come true. I know, Marsha, I got a little quick reset because I realized more persons were coming on. You were telling me earlier about using different vendors. Do you collaborate a lot with other persons when you're doing your events and stuff?
Oh yes, definitely. Collaboration is a big thing in the wedding industry, and it can't hurt to have more than one supplier of goods and services. And of course, for Royal Events, we're still doing collaborations, and we're open to doing collaborations with businesses, companies, brands that we are in alignment with. So whether you're in the food industry or you're in the transportation industry, or even if you're another planner, you're a decorator, you are a singer, you're a dancer, you're an MC, you are a graphic artist, just anywhere you see that you fit in the wedding industry, collaboration is really, really important. That's how you get the word out. That's how you build your network. That's how you meet people and potential clients, so you just need to make sure that when you show up with your A game. Every day, all day, there are agreements in place and things like that. So we do collaborations every day, all day.
Awesome. All right. I'm glad to see through here. When someone decide, okay, I think you said it earlier, so let me make sure. You're saying a good time to make sure you start planning your wedding. Just to recap for some persons who are joining, it's a good 6 months to a year, you said, right?
Correct.
Right. Cool. And then make sure you have pretty much like a basic idea what to tell you, right? They're not all over the place. Maybe sometimes they are, but something enough to at least give you an idea what they're looking for on their day, right?
And we make the process very easy for you because we work from a series of checklists, and there are systems that are in place for everyone that comes. And once you receive that first email from us, we always give you what's called next steps. So as soon as you complete a particular activity or so, then we tell you, okay, so this is what's next, this is what we need from you. We have conversations about expectations because that is important, because once a person passes the phase of shopping around for a wedding planner, because not all persons believe in having a wedding planner, but a wedding planner can save your life, right? So once you've passed that, then we talk about expectations. What are you expecting from us? What are we expecting from you? And one of the biggest expectations that we ask of our clients normally is trust. Trust is extremely important, because we now become a part of your inner circle. We now become a part of your team. And so whatever decisions we make, of course, after consulting with you, whatever we bring to you is always in your best interest. Always in your best interest. And you will always have the final say, because this is your wedding. But we will always be very transparent and look out for our client. That comes first.
Right. Awesome. And one of the things I found out, just not I think maybe I mean, because I know I've known you for a long while, but just to let the person know that I found out from our conversation that you take good care of your people, and you see them through, as you mentioned, the lady who you started with her wedding and now you did her baby shower. Who knows, down the road you maybe get, if you're still doing this, style of business, you may actually turn around and do another baby shower or do the wedding of the children. I mean, life.
Yeah, and we always try to add
So I'm
value to
happy that you're able to stay connected to your customers like that and complete a whole life cycle.
I know, because we even do funerals too, but let's not talk about that. That's more on the royal events. But
oh, really? You do funerals? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
We always
So
try to
there's
add
so much
value.
in your arsenal.
Yeah, we always try to add value to our clients and our customers. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot remember not having a bride and they have not received added value, something more than what they've paid for. We've had brides who have received free cake. We have had brides who have received free dresses. We have brides, and remember, I don't work alone. We work in collaboration with vendors and so on. We had a bride that won refreshment covered. She just had like a ceremony and a cocktail, and she just wanted to do like wine and cupcakes. And then at the end of the day, she ended up getting small meal packages for her guests and things like that. So I think Simply Weddings carries a grace for extra and excess. So when you come to us, know that we can't tell you how it's gonna play out or in what way. It could be a discount off of decorations or something, but it always works out. We never plan for it, but it always happens. We work with some really awesome people, so value is constantly added to our brides every day, all day.
Awesome. So it's value added service. Connect with Simply Wedding Ari for value added service for all your wedding needs. I can attest to the fact that you're going to be in good hands, because Marsha is truly a really good person, good servant-hearted person, and you're going to not only get the value, but you're going to get that care for your special day, right? Your special day. Any more stories you want to share with us about any of your events as we wrap up? Anything any final word you want to leave with anybody as they get ready for their big day, if there's anyone watching in that state? Yeah.
Again, the only thing I'd probably emphasize when it comes on to starting your life together is to make sure that you have good counsel, right? There are certain emotions that are going to come up. And I know this not just because, yes, I'm also a minister, but because I have had to be a shoulder to cry on. I've had to be that person to give advice. And if it's something that beyond me, I make sure that within the Simply Wedding circle, we have ministers of religion that can pray with people. They have experience. They can counsel people. Because guess what? The wedding is one day, but your marriage is a lifetime.
Truly.
Right? The wedding is one day, but your marriage is a lifetime. So it's important that you get good counsel in
Get
all
it
before
right.
you say I do. Get good counsel, and
Right.
then after the wedding day, you know, make sure that your community is a type of community that would check in with you. I had a friend of mine, and this is a male saying this now. He said, Marsha, I felt so upset with my pastor after I got married because within the first year I wanted to quit and nobody called to check in and ask me how we were doing. We almost got a divorce. They say that if you can survive the first 2 years of your marriage, then you can survive anything, because that transition and that runway, you know, is normally getting to know each
That
other,
Norman
getting to fill in
storm.
each other's space and things like that. Yeah, that's normally it. So the rest of it, your planner will handle, but something that's not in a book, that's what I want to leave with the viewers.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another moment with MzShellz. We had lovely talks with Marsha J from Simply Weddings by RE. That's how it goes, right?
Yes.
Because I always just thought it was royal events, but you schooled me today. You schooled me tonight. But I had fun just talking with you. Watch out for the replay if you missed an aspect of this lovely interview. It will also be on my YouTube channel, and it will also be on Instagram. And we have, as I said earlier, we have some more couples that we're going to be talking to. Just talking about love in every season based on their journey in their walk in marriage. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Marsha, for coming on.
You're welcome.
And don't forget to connect with me on According to MzShellz for all content related to celebrations and life happening and all kind of bling bling.
That's right.
Anyway, it was fun. Oh my goodness. All right, me gone. Do have a lovely evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for